do a lot of work with Fortune 1000 companies, and they have enormous data requirements, right? So the hard thing about segueing large corporations and large entities like that is these business needs, right? Like, they can't just put their user data on any database. They're responsible for them. So that data privacy, that chain of knowledge, that chain of ownership of that data is very important to them. This is why it's very hard for the brands that we work with to switch vendors rapidly, right? If they're using one vendor for a part of their stack, it integrates not just with the solution that's forward facing, it also has to integrate with their whole legal and compliance team, right? Because if this is a government regulated business, if this is an industry that has certain compliance issues, that stuff is very important, but it's also very niche, right? So the medical industry is entirely different than the liquor industry, which is entirely different than the entertainment industry. Beyond that lift, which is out of our control, right? We are sometimes forced to use Eventbrite or Splash because of how a client manages their safety and their risk protocols. What we find is that there's very few technical stacks that actually do all the things that we need. And when we do find a technical stack that does all the things that we need, it's either impossibly expensive or impossibly difficult to use because it was designed for people that aren't lay people, right? It's designed for people who are fantastic at Python programming and front-end J2EE scripting, and that's not us, man. We are the creators of the event. We need to be able to step into a platform that can go from this is the list of our attendees to this is how each one of them wants their dinner and make sure that all goes to the chef. And that is just in one version, but like when we have 3,500 people coming to a trade show, that's also an entirely different structure of thing. And each of those tool sets still feels cumbersome and difficult to figure out which is the right one to plug in. How do we get that stack to fit in so that we are building user profiles that can expand and interact globally. We can share that data with our clients. We can follow and track guests around experiences so we can see which of those activations had the best connect. There was a line of people at the laser for 2 hours. There was nobody at the clown booth. You know what I mean? Next party, the clown booth was blown up nuts. There was a whole bunch of performers there and nobody cared about the technology. Can we learn from these things so that we can spend our money and our attention better inside that room and more excitingly? Again, that's a whole other app, right? Than what we had from the ticketing side, from the information side, and then our accounting side of all that stuff, right? I would say that the other thing that's technically tricky on that stack perspective is the entertainment function, right? When you make once in a lifetime moments, you create an enormous amount of media, and it would be great to connect that media directly to the purchase ticket or to the reservation so that when people come to an event, they don't have to take their phone out. They don't have to feel compelled to take a bullshit photo of the food that's in front of them because they're not going to be as good as the photographer that we hire. They don't need to stand up and videotape, whoever's on stage. We got 10 cameras. Like, we can just send you this content in a beautiful and elegant way, but there is no way for that to happen so that they can then easily share it on social media and have it be owned by themselves. So this is all part of that thing, right? Like, how do you come and say, oh, I want to go to this thing? Cool. Go through all the stuff you need to do. Okay, get the information sent to your email, make sure that it shows up as a PDF, all that jazz. And then how do you get that energy into the room and then out of the room so that when it's 2 weeks after that event, people are still talking about how exciting it was to be in there and why?